Saturday morning, I got up. I was so hyped to record this video. I had everything ready, all the content that I want to discuss, and all the books here ready, camera, lights, everything perfect. And there was no noise outside. I'm like, today, everything was done. Did the recording, sat down for editing, and I found out that the file is corrupted. I was so disappointed. So here I am on a Monday re-recording the video that I planned for Saturday, which is the science fiction books that I want to read this year. My name is Angela. I'm your own bookaholic brown name. You can call me Angie. In this channel, I talk about books. So if you're a bookaholic like me, please do not hesitate from subscribing to my channel. Also, please like, share, and comment. And without further ado, let's get into it. Anything and everything that can go wrong is going wrong. I am having a very bad hair day. My lighting is not correct. There is a lot of noise outside, some kind of construction nearby, and I just got up to pick up my reading journal so that I can take you through, the monthly plan. Which month I'm planning to read each of these books that I want to discuss about, and my mic fell down, and then the whole setup tilted a little bit. Then I had to reset it. So everything is going really bad today. But that is not going to kill my spirit. We are still going to sail on. Till the end of April, my TBR is kind of tight, so I cannot squeeze in any of these yet. So I'm already reading a kind of a science fiction book, which is Octavia E. Butler's Kindred, together with Anita from Anita Gare's channel. So I'm really loving it. I'm just 20 pages in, and it's really, really amazing. I really like it. All these books that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to start from the month of May. So any of you watching me right now want to hop on, just give a scream, and then we can talk and maybe plan a buddy read in case you want to, just read along with me and discuss the books. So the first book that I want to read, that will be in May, and that's this one, which is Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. I know that James S.A. Corey is, a pen name for a couple of authors. So they wrote this book together, and this is actually the basis of the Expanse series, which is running on Amazon Prime. So it's a 10-book series, and there has been so much talk about around this book, and I know that Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads loved this series, and he's been raving about this book and talking this book up. So I've always been curious, and I wanted to get into this book. So finally I have planned to start this in May, and then going on from there. If I like the book and if my TBR fits in, I want to continue reading the series. So I want to quickly read out the summary, which is given on the back of the cover, just for the sake of people who don't know what this series is all about, like me. So humanity has colonized the solar system, Mars, the moon, the asteroid belt, and beyond, but the stars are still out of our reach. Jim Holden is an officer on an ice miner making runs from the rings of Saturn to the mining stations of the belt. When he and his crew stumble upon a derelict ship, the ship is called Scopuli, they find themselves in possession of a secret they never wanted, a secret that someone is willing to kill for. War is brewing in the system unless Jim can find out who left the ship and why. Detective Miller is looking for a girl, one girl in a system of billions, but her parents have money and money talks. When the trail leads him to the ship Scopuli and rebel sympathizer Holden, he realizes that this girl may hold the key to everything. Holden and Miller must thread the needle between the Earth government, the outer planet revolutionaries, and the secret corporations, and the odds are against them. But out in the belt, the rules are different, and one small ship can change the fate of the universe. I'm not that huge a fan of space-based science fiction, but let's see how it goes. Next book that I want to share is something that I want to read in June, and it is a reread for me. This is a book that I read last year, and a reread is absolutely rare for me, so This is a very special book, and the book that I'm talking about is The Three Body Problem by Jixin Liu. He is a Chinese author. He won the Hugo Award for Best Novel in 2015 for this book. First of all, I started this book because it came as a recommendation on Scribd homepage, and I just clicked on it because I saw, three body problem. I'm aware of the scientific conjecture, the three body problem. So I knew about this. And I finished the book, and then I decided that I have to buy the physical copy and do an immersive reading. And that's what I did. And later I realized that this is a trilogy, and then I have to buy the other two books. I haven't bought them yet, but I have to buy the other two books in the series and then complete the trilogy. But the journey of the trilogy will start in the month of June with the three body problem. Guys, this is such an amazing book, and I would recommend you to go into this blindly if you're a science fiction fan, and just discover what this is all about. Just don't read anything, because I went in without knowing anything, and it was such an amazing feeling to realize what kind of storyline this whole novel is taking. So that is The Three Body Problem by Jason Liu. Then for July and August, I'm not going to add any more science fiction, because I will be reading the book 2 and book 3 of the Three Body Problem series. I think it is called The Remembrance of the Earth's Past trilogy. That's what the series is called. So I will be reading book 2 and book 3 of that. So skipping to September. In September, I want to read a book which is by a classic author called Robert A. Heinlein. I'm sure most of you who are familiar with science fiction would know about this author, but this is the first time I heard of this author. And this was kind of a cover buy for me. Actually, we went to Blossoms in Bangalore here. It's a bookstore, and it has a combination of new books and used books. So we went to the used book section. My husband saw this cover and he really liked it. He said it's so colorful and very retro looking kind of cover, and I also like this. So this was kind of a cover buy for me, which is again very rare for me. I picked this up, and I'm yet to read this, of course, but yeah, I'm quite interested because the premise is really interesting. Let me read it out to you. I woke up in bed with a man and a cat. The man was a stranger. His shoulder was cold. He was quite dead. This is not a good way to start the day. So begins the story of Maureen Johnson, adventurous time traveler, mother, and lover to the infamous Lazarus Long. Rescued from certain death in 1982 and rejuvenated by the time course, she investigates the histories of planet Earth across countless alternate timelines, frequently accompanied by the irrepressible and inexplicable Pixel, the cat who walks through walls. While waiting to be rescued from the clutches of the fanatical Committee for Aesthetic Deletions, Maureen relates the story of her life and loves. Hugo Award winner Robert Heinlein has gathered together all his best loved characters and their worlds in a novel that is part fantasy, part history, part autobiography, and part fireside yarn. The result is a delightfully amorous, life affirming adventure of extraordinary invention and a wonderfully warm and wise coda to one of science fiction's most celebrated canons. It's quite a good summary, and it really wanted me to pick this up and start the book immediately, which I didn't do, but I will do it in September. Now, coming to October, October is a month of popular books. When I look into my TBR, science fiction that I want to read in October is a highly popular book currently, which is written by, again, a very popular author, which is The Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Now, Andy Weir is the author who wrote The Martian. I have been wanting to read this book for such a long time. In fact, I bought this the moment it released, and from then it's been on my bookshelf. I have not been able to get to it, so I decided that unless I plan it, I'm never going to get to it. So like the way Andy Weir writes his book, because there is a lot of science and it's explained in a very accessible way. So I like his writing. That is Project Hail Mary by Angie Weir, which I'll be reading in the month of October. So October, like I said, is a month of popular reads for me. So another science fiction that I want to start in October is a trilogy, which is the Red Risings trilogy by Piers Brown. Now, a trivia, while I was looking this up, I don't have the books to show you, but while I was looking up, I realized that Piers Brown is actually so handsome, so cute. Yeah, when I heard the name, I was expecting. Okay, I was not expecting this cute a guy. So, anywho, Red Rising is a dystopian science fiction novel, and I will quickly read out the summary to you. Darrow is a red, a member of the lowest caste in the color coded society of the future. Like his fellow reds, he works all day, believing that he and his people are making the surface of Mars livable for future generations. Just because of the noise outside, I'm going to hold my mic like this. Yet he spends his life willingly, knowing that his blood and sweat will one day result in a better world for his children. But Darrow and his kind have been betrayed. Soon he discovers that humanity already reached the surface generations ago, vast cities and sprawling parks spread across the planet. Darrow and Reds like him are nothing more than slaves to a decadent ruling class. What a surprise, right? Ruling class, always honest. Inspired by a longing for justice and driven by the memory of lost love, Darrow sacrifices everything to infiltrate the legendary institute, a proving ground for the dominant gold caste, where the next generation of humanity's overlords struggle for power. He will be forced to compete for his life and the very future of civilization against the best and most brutal of society's ruling class. There, he will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if it means he has to become one of them to do so. I already like this story because there is a social divide and social caste as theme in this story. Let's see how that goes. That is Red Rising, book number one, which I will start in October, book number two in November, and I will wind up the year with Red Rising number three. So the trilogy is done and dusted in 2022. November also I will be reading Red Rising 2, and on top of that I want to read another book which is again a reread for me, very rare event in my reading life, and that is a book by one of the, I think he can be considered the Tolkien of science fiction. I don't know why he is not, but he should be according to me, and that is Douglas Adam, and I'm talking about The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And the book that I want to read is The Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is a collection of all the four novels in this series, and the five novels in the series. So one is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The second is Restaurant at the End of the Universe, Life, the Universe and Everything, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, and the last one is Mostly Harmless. Guys, this is a book. It is so hilarious. At the same time, it is deep. It is satirical. I had so much fun reading this for the first time. I think I read this around 10, 11 years ago, and I've forgotten a lot of the plot, and that's why I wanted to read this again. I thought that this is the year that I want to read it, and every page is entertainment raised to the power 100. That is what this book is. Like I said, this is funny, this is hilarious, this is satirical, and it is bordering on absurdism. I think it is absurdist. I'm not a expert in categorizing books into genres, but I think this borders on absurdism, and also filled with meaning and depth of content. If you haven't read this, I'm telling you guys, you are missing out on one of the best science fiction novel of all time. That was The Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I'll be reading in the month of November. Now, before I get into the last book that I want to talk about, which I am planning to read in the month of December, I want to also mention two books which from a series I started actually. I read the first book in the series, which is Illuminate, and I absolutely loved it. This is written in the form of dossier, like a lot of chats and flight records and inner musings of a rogue AI and instant messages, in-flight investigations, and everything together. So it's a set of files, and that's the format of this book. I want to read the other two books in the series at some point. Maybe in the later half of the year, one of these months, I want to add these two books as well. This is book number 2, which is Gemina, and this is book number 3, Obsidio, in the 11A series. I just wanted to mention it because I haven't planned it yet. I haven't put it into my TBR yet, but I'm just figuring out a way how to squeeze this in, because they are actually quite easy reads because of the format. Last book that I want to mention today, which I have planned for the month of December, is actually again an easy read, because December kind of is a busy month because it is Christmas and my birthday is in December. There is a lot of family events planned, or usually I take 2 weeks off, and maybe if the situation allows, I might want to travel somewhere. So anyways, I want to keep my reading light, so I thought that I will pick up a book which is kind of light, and I went for a YA science fiction, and I have heard that despite the fact that it is YA, it is quite good for an adult reader to read as well. I mean, I do read YA as well once in a while here and there, but I want to read Scythe by Neil Shusterman. Hope that's how his name is pronounced. So let's read the summary on the back of the cover. What if death was the only thing left to control? In a perfect world, the only way to die is to be gleaned by a professional scythe. When Citra and Rowan are chosen to be apprentice scythes, they know they have no option but to learn the art of killing. However, oh, that's a terrible job to apprentice for. However, the terrifying responsibility of choosing their victims is just a start. Corruption is the order of the day, and Citra and Rowan need to stick together to fight it. Then they are told that one of them will have to glean the other. Oh my god, moral dilemma, emotional distress. I think I'm already invested in this. Those were the science fiction book that I want to read this year. Let me know if you want to join in any of them and have a buddy read with me. And if you're still here, please subscribe to my channel. Also, please like, share, and comment. This is Angie signing off. I will see you soon. Another video. Before you know it, I'll be back. Bye bye.